This is John Lee, and we're glad to see you tonight. We've got a very special guest with a special presentation on our Secrets of a Dealionaire OTC Premier Signature Series. We're very thrilled. A friend of mine I've known for several years. She has my utmost respect. Very good trainer. She knows business like the back of her hand, and I want to welcome, and please everyone else welcome Miss Kathy Kennebrook, the marketing magic lady. Thank you for
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. So you're all set then. You're not doing anything else.
You're our special attraction, and we are here to see you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and welcome everyone. Thank you for being on the Zoom tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about myself and how I got into real estate investing in the first place, since probably some of you don't know me or haven't seen me in a very, very long time. I am from the West Coast of Florida, and I got into real estate investing about 20 some odd years ago now. It's been quite a while. Prior to that, I had spent about 20 years in the financial sector, and I worked in the banking and the barter industry. I was working about 60 to 80 hours a week and putting about 100,000 miles a year on my vehicle. Don't know if you have any idea what that does to a vehicle, real quick. And at the same point in time, my husband was working for a national food distribution company, and he worked in what they called the freezer section. Well, I don't care how many big, bulky suits they give you, your body can only sustain below zero temperatures for so long, and the man was sick more than he was well. And so we decided there had to be something better out there for us. We just had no idea what that better thing was going to be. And one night I was up late watching one of those late night infomercials on how to buy houses with no money down. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if that really worked? And so I ended up calling one of my customers, who actually happened to be the person who ran our local club meeting in Tampa, Florida. I am from the West Coast of Florida. And I said, hey, what do you think about this real estate investing stuff? Does it really work? And he said, of course it does. Come to some of our meetings and make that determination for yourself. And so we started going to some meetings, and we started going to some seminars, and we got real excited, and we started buying some books and tapes and programs and putting them on a shelf and putting them on the shelf and never to be seen again. How many folks have been to that seminar? Well, after about a year, we had spent over $13,000 on books, tapes, and programs, and we had done absolutely nothing. And I said to my husband, I want to do one darn deal because I want my money back. And so we ended up, and that's kind of what got us into the direct mail marketing that I still do a lot of today. Now, a lot of you don't know me, but my husband is kind of introverted. And so he's kind of shy. And so we had to figure out a way to make it more comfortable for him to work for sellers. But guess what I found out real quick? So's everybody else for the most part. They're not all loudmouths like me. And so we also found out that some of the sellers were kind of shy and introverted too. And so the direct mail turned out to be a really good way to find sellers. And so what we had already learned was that if you could get a seller to contact you first, you were much more likely to make a better deal. And so we started really targeting specific kinds of sellers that we thought were much more likely to want to work with us. And all of a sudden, here comes our first deal. And our houses basically have names at this point, and we call this one our haunted house. And basically what happened here was it was a divorce situation. He took off, she took off, and the house had been sitting empty for over a year, and it looked just like this. I wonder why it didn't sell. And so what we ended up doing was we took this home subject to the balance of the mortgage. The seller called us on the phone and he said, Kathy, please take my house off my hands. I'll deed it to you. I got the keys sitting right here. Is this the kind of motivated seller you want to deal with? Absolutely. The home was worth about $337,000. He owed $197,000 on it, and he deeded us the home for $197,000. We knew we had a deal. And so what we ended up doing was we didn't want to do all the rehab and everything that it needed. So what we did was we got a landscape company. They came out, they brought out these big bush hogs, and they cleaned it all up, and they got rid of the dead trees. We got some curb appeal going on, some pathways and some flowers. And then we called in a company and they cleaned the home from top to bottom. Home needed about 37,000 worth of rehab, which we had chosen not to do at that particular point. So we ended up using another technique we had learned called a round robin auction to sell this property. Write that down, round robin auction. We showed the home 54 times in one weekend, and we ended up selling that home for $275,000 without doing anything to it. And so when everything was said and done, we walked away from this home with a profit of $51,635. Well, that's what I had in mind. That worked just perfectly for me. And so I had a boss at that particular point. I was a contractor, self-contracted, and so independent contractor. And so I didn't get a salary or anything like that. I was an independent contractor working for this particular barter company. But he had been teasing me relentlessly about real estate investing. And so I took a copy of the check to work the next day, and I said, "Hey, look what I did." And he said, "You're fired." And that's how I got into real estate investing full time. So I knew that I needed to replace my income very quickly. That obviously that was going to be really important. And so what I started to do is to do something for my business every single day. And one of those things was to implement direct mail to get more and more sellers contacting us first. About 4 weeks later, I called my husband at work one day and I said, "Honey, I need you to do me a big favor." And he said, "What?" I said, "Quit." He said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No, I can't deal with all of these sellers that are contacting us at this particular point in time. I can't do all these deals by myself." And that's how we got into real estate investing on a full-time basis. Since that time, we've done hundreds of deals. And basically, one of the pieces of advice that I can give you is, folks, don't lock yourself into any one niche. If the deal makes sense and it's a win-win with you and that seller, do the deal. So down here in Florida, we do a lot of different kinds of deals. We like single family homes a lot. I do smaller multifamilies like 1 to 10 units or 2 to 10 units. I like urban commercial. We do that. And then we got those good old wobbly boxes down here. That's what we call mobile homes down here in Florida. So we do some of that. And we also do a lot of vacant land deals. That's a seminar for a whole different day, but we do a lot of vacant land as well. So basically, we take the deals as they come at us. The other piece of advice that I can give you folks is simply put down the newspaper, stop, get off of Facebook, get off of the internet, get out there and get deals done. There are a ton of deals to be made right now in almost every market in America. We are experiencing a huge shift right now throughout the country. And what's basically happening is people are trying to get away from areas that are locked up or that are crowded and have a lot of people, and they're trying to move to more urban and suburban or suburban and rural kinds of areas. So there's a lot of shifting going on in the United States, and there are a ton of deals to be made right now. So before we get started, I just want to cover a couple of things. One is that John and I talked about it earlier. And what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is go ahead and whatever questions you may have, go ahead and throw them in the chat box. If I haven't already covered them during the presentation, write them down, go ahead and throw them in the chat box at the end of the call. And John will let me know what the questions are, and we'll make sure we get all of your questions answered. Also, at the end of the call, I am going to make a phenomenal deal where I am going to show you how you can implement my direct mail marketing at no cost to you. So make sure that you stay with us all the way to the end of the call. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So why should you develop a marketing strategy in the first place? Well, number one, to get highly motivated sellers and lenders contacting you first. How would you like to have a lender call you on the phone and go, "Hey, how come you're not borrowing money from me?" Well, we're going to talk about that tonight. So not only are we going to find some sellers, but we're going to find some lenders too. We're going to buy properties no one knows are for sale, including the seller. Folks, these are sellers who have a variety of problems they need to solve. They just have no idea how to do that until they're contacted by you. We're going to learn how to put systems in place that are going to net profitable deals for you and for your family. Now, here's something else I want you to kind of be thinking about while we're going through all of this tonight. Actually, two things. Number one, why do you want to be a real estate investor in the first place? What is it that makes you get up in the morning and makes you get excited about doing that next deal? Is it because you want to quit a job that you don't care for particularly? Or maybe it's because you've got children that you want to put through college, or maybe because you want to spend more time with your family, or maybe like me, you want to spend some time doing some charitable work out there. So figure out what that is, put it on a big poster board and put it on the wall in your office or wherever you're working so you know what goal you are working toward. For me, basically, when we first got involved, I have 6 grandkids at this point in time. Um, and my oldest is 19. She just turned 19 a few days ago. Yikes. So I'm giving my age away. So anyway, I was at the birth of all of my grandchildren, and I didn't have to ask for time off of work. I didn't have to, talk to a boss about it. I just did what I wanted to do. And that's what I want to do with my life. And that's what I want you to do with yours. Also, while we're covering all of this marketing tonight, be thinking about what the demographic is where you live and which direct mail campaigns and marketing techniques are going to work for you in the area where you live. So kind of be thinking about that while we're talking tonight. And then fill your pipeline with new deals every single day. That's pretty awesome. So why direct mail marketing? Well, number one, you want to create the exact lead and deal that you're looking for in your marketplace. You can create the budget for your business. So if we have some newbie folks on our call tonight and you don't have a lot of money to work with, let me tell you, you don't need a lot of money to work with to get started, to put in place some really effective marketing for your business. And we're going to talk about that tonight. For those of you who are seasoned, we're going to learn a little bit about how to budget for your business. You control the number of pieces that are going out and when, and you want to be in control of that. We kind of equate that, or the analogy that we use is a faucet. So sometimes you want to turn it up to a gush, and sometimes you want to turn it down to a trickle, but you should always, always have marketing in place and have direct mail campaigns going out. Create a response mechanism in the body of your letters, and the deals will be pre-screened for you. Folks, nobody does this but me. And I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. So basically, I want you to create a response mechanism in the body of your letter that tells the seller what you want them to do. Because folks, if you don't tell a seller what you want them to do, they're not going to do anything at all. Okay? And the deals will be pre-screened for you when they hit your desk. So let me give you an example. This is a deal that we were working on just a couple of weeks ago. And the response to the letter came in a 9x11 envelope with a little clasp envelope. Inside the envelope was a copy of his deed, which I didn't ask for. In the envelope was a plat map, which I didn't ask for. In the envelope was a 2-page letter telling me every single thing about that property since his grandfather built it. And in that envelope were a half a dozen photographs of the property inside and out. Is this the kind of motivated seller you want to work with? Absolutely. And for those of you who are newer on our call tonight, this is a really good tool for you to use to get more comfortable with that pre-screening prospect or the opportunity. You have most of the information before you ever have the first conversation with the seller. And nobody does that but me. It's amazing. You're going to reach sellers and lenders who would never hear your message in any other way. They're not going to see an ad you ran in the newspaper. They're not going to see the ad that you ran on Facebook or Craigslist or whatever social media that you're using. These direct mail campaigns are very, very targeted to reach specific kinds of sellers who are very highly motivated. And those are the sellers you're going to be reaching. Direct mail is convenient for the seller. It has a long shelf life and there's no competition. So for example, we had a lady call us just a week ago, new deal. We're doing a ton of deals right now, guys. Had a lady call me a week ago, and this one is an estate property. And we're going to wait a little bit because it's just gone to probate. So, and I'm totally okay with that. And the seller called us and she said, I was going through my dad's desk and I found 2 letters from you in his desk drawer. Are you still buying houses? And we put that house under contract. Folks, these letters are residual. The sellers will hold on to them until they need your service. So let's talk about some of the kinds of target prospects that I like to work with. These are the 12 primary types of prospects that bring the highest response rate in our business. So the first of those are out-of-state owners. What I mean by an out-of-state owner is someone who owns a home wherever it is you live, but they don't live there full time. So maybe they inherited it, maybe they bought it as a vacation home, maybe they intended to retire there and now they're not going to. These are ideal, fabulous leads because it's very difficult for the owner of a home out of state to maintain and take care of that property. So these are great leads. Quitclaim deeds. Now, this is where you're going to find a lot of estate and probate properties. I'm telling you, really fabulous leads. Because what happens sometimes is they're in probate and they want to get the property under contract, but it's still in probate. So there's a time period and an end user isn't going to be able to do that. But we as an investor can. So the time element becomes non-sequential in our negotiations with that seller. Pre-foreclosures. How many folks in our listening audience are working pre-foreclosures? Well, I am. And the pre-foreclosures I'm talking about are a byproduct of these estate and probate properties. Because here's what happens. Initially speaking, when a person dies, the mortgage company does not initially file lis pendens or notice of default because they know their borrower is dead. So what ends up happening is now you have a property that's gone to probate or it's inherited by an heir with a mortgage that's not in their name, that's months behind on payments. Do you not think these are an ideal situation for a short sale? Yes or yes? Absolutely. Multifamily properties. Now, when we start working together tonight, the company that I use to get the lists for the multifamily property mailing can customize this list for you based on the number of units per building that you're looking for. So if you're looking for duplexes, triplexes, quads, small apartment complexes, big apartment complexes, they can customize the list to bring you exactly what it is you're looking for in your market. Vacant and abandoned houses. Folks, if you are not working the vacant house market, you are missing the boat big time. These are free leads, folks. So every time you go somewhere, take a different route to get there. Okay, whether you're dropping the kids off at school or going to the home improvement store or going to the grocery store, take a different route to get there. Take a photograph of that vacant property and then start doing research. You can either research them yourself, use the property appraiser's office, you can use a skip tracer. When we start working together tonight, I've got some awesome skip tracers that can help you find the owners of these vacant houses. So very easy. But I will tell you, the more difficult it is for you to find the owner of a vacant house, the better a deal you're going to make. Finding your dream home. Now, this was a direct mail campaign that we designed to find the home that we currently live in. And this is a really cool mailing that there's so much criteria that you can use to customize this particular direct mail campaign. So subdivision, area of town, zip code area, number of bedrooms, number of baths, how much property, 1 story or 2, whether or not it's got a swimming pool, lots of different criteria that you can use to find your personal dream home. But I'll tell you what, this is another really good direct mail campaign to find those luxury properties because folks, luxury properties simply mean bigger paychecks. And I like bigger paychecks. Getting the deed. This is another direct mail campaign that will simply bring you folks who want to deed you the property for the balance of the mortgage. So once again, you don't have to worry about where the funding is coming from for your deal. Zip code mailer. Now the zip code mailer, there are 2 specific types of zip code ranges that I like to work in. One, obviously luxury properties, because luxury properties simply mean bigger paychecks. And the other are those good middle income areas, because there are lots of folks who want to live in those areas. So whether you're going to wholesale that property, retail that property, lease option that property, rent that property, whatever you're going to do, you have the opportunity to do that. And you have a big area to work in. Attorneys, how many folks on our call tonight are working with attorneys to bring you deals? This is an amazing direct mail campaign. So basically what I did was I built a direct mail campaign with targeting specific types of attorneys who are much more likely to work with me. And we mail out about 50 to 60 letters at a time. If you do much more than that, it becomes really cumbersome. And so what you're going to do is you're going to mail those letters out. 2 weeks later, you mail them out again, and then you follow up with any of the attorneys who have not followed up with you. The first time I did this direct mail campaign, like 11 years ago, I ended up creating relationships with 4 attorneys who still bring us deals today. So this is a marketing campaign that you only have to do a couple of times to create a constant source of new deals for you. So if you're a person of integrity and you do what you say you're going to do, when these attorneys have a client come to them who needs to sell a property quickly, no matter what condition it's in order for that attorney to be able to liquidate assets, they're going to contact you first. Now, the other thing that's amazing about working with attorneys is attorneys know folks who have money they need to invest. If you're a person of integrity and you do what you say you're going to do, all of a sudden you're going to be getting phone calls every now and then. It doesn't happen a lot. For me, it's a couple times a year, but I'll get a phone call and the phone call goes, "Hey, Kathy, why aren't you borrowing money from me?" And I'll give you an example of that. That's actually pretty funny. I had an attorney call me about 3 years ago, and he said, "Hey, why aren't you borrowing any money from me?" And I said, "Well, I guess we need to have lunch and talk about that." And so we decided, what restaurant we were going to. And we got to the restaurant, and he walked in and I walked in and I said, "Hey, I know you." And he said, "Hey, I know you." So back when I was like 23 years old, which was like a really, really long time ago, I was the liaison between the banks and the courts. I did the research and I testified in bad check cases, kiting cases, all that kind of stuff. At that point in time, he was the district attorney who was prosecuting those cases. And he and I worked together for like 3 years. And then he went on to become a state attorney here in Florida. And then he retired. And then I went on to become a real estate investor many years later. So 30 some years later, here we are working together again. So the obvious conclusion is don't burn a bridge, because you never know when it's going to come back. And so the end of that story is that I ended up with a $500,000 credit line from him personally and $1 million credit line from a foundation that he manages here in Florida. So I ended up from 145-minute lunch with $1.5 million of additional monies in private lending to use for my real estate investing business. So folks, write that down, because that's one of the first direct mail campaigns that I want you to start working with. Military transfers. So if you live near a military base, this is a wonderful way for you to do a public service and increase the equity and make some money in your real estate investing business. Here's kind of what happens. Military woos these men and women in, tells them they're going to be stationed somewhere for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever that might be. They buy a home off base. They use their VA certificate. They pay pretty much full retail for it. They move their family in. They get all comfy. And 6 months later, they get transferred somewhere else. Now they have a home and a mortgage that they neither want nor need. And they're stuck between a rock and a hard place because they can't afford to write a big check for closing costs or realtor fees. Folks, these are an ideal situation for you to have a home deeded to you for the balance of the mortgage. So once again, you don't have to worry about where your funding is coming from. But now we're going to have to let that home build some equity, aren't we? Absolutely. Folks, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to either lease or lease option these homes in order to gain some equity. And I'll tell you what, folks, working with the military is like working with Section 8 on steroids. Because here's what happens. The military takes the money out of their paycheck to cover your rent every month, and they deposit it into your checking account once a month. The military helps you to find the person to go into your property. If the person damages your property, guess who they have to answer to? Their superior officer, not you. This is killer stuff. Folks, if you live near a military base, this is an incredible direct mail campaign for you to implement. Free and clear properties. These are the folks who own their home free and clear without a mortgage. And these are an ideal situation for you to create creative financing with those sellers. So once again, you don't have to worry about where your funding is coming from for your deal. And then expired listings. How many folks in our listening audience are working with a realtor in your business or more than one realtor in your business? I work with 3. Folks, if you're not working with a realtor in your business, you absolutely need to. And one of the things that realtor should be bringing you are the expired listings. We have done a ton of deals from expired listings. And one of the biggest deals we've ever done in our business came from an expired listing. And I'll share that with you in just a moment. So these are the 12 direct mail campaigns that we really like to do. These are the types of sellers that we really like to target. The response rate is really high. Each direct mail campaign has a different letter, a different list, different language, and different criteria for each list. You see, for example, the out-of-state owner mailing. So when I get the out-of-state owner list, there's other very specific criteria that we use to hone in to bring us the most highly qualified sellers in that particular group, along with all of the others. And the reason that I do that is because I only want to work with very highly motivated sellers. So it makes your marketing dollars go a lot further. So let me give you a couple of examples of what we're doing down here in Florida. Here is the big deal that I just told you about. This is an aerial photo that was taken of the home. The home is 13,000 square feet. The very short story is Major League Baseball player, pitcher, shoulder injury, career over. That's the really short version. And the home had been partied in heartily. And that's one of the reasons it was an expired listing. It had sat on the market for over a year and hadn't sold. It was worth $1.2 million. Beautiful home. 6 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, ladies 2.5 kitchens, guys 2-story game room, pool, jacuzzi, sauna, weight room, trophy room, big house. And what ended up happening was this house had this beautiful family room in it. And at the end of the family room was a bar. And in the end of the bar were all these kegerators. So you would walk into this room and the carpet went squish, 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 squish. What do you think it was? Beer. You're absolutely right. It was beer. You know what beer smells like after 12 months? It smells like money. It smells just like cash. Folks, we ended up buying this house for $650,000. We ended up doing about $80,000 of rehab to it. We came that close to moving in. Same builder that built my house, as a matter of fact. But we really didn't want the kids moving back home. And the paycheck was just going to be too lucrative. So we did $80,000 of rehab. We used some marketing techniques that we had learned to sell the property. We ended up selling it to an out-of-state buyer for $1 million cash, because sometimes enough is just enough. And we ended up walking away from this closing with a check for $149,000. So if you're not working with a realtor in your business to bring you expired listings, you absolutely need to be, because there are some fantastic deals to be made. Here's another little deal that I wanted to tell you about. We just did this deal with Glenda about a month or so ago. We bought the house for $17,500. This was a little wholesale deal that I did. After repair value was about $90,000, and our wholesale profit on this deal was $12,500. We never had the first conversation with the seller at all from start to finish. Is this the kind of motivated seller you want to work with? Absolutely. Let me show you the letter from the seller. This is exactly the wording in her letter. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Kennebrook, I just got your letter about buying my house in Bradenton. How did you know I needed to sell? My uncle left me this house. I don't know why he left me the house. I never even been to Florida, so I never even seen it. All I do know is that I'm not paying the tax bill I just got. Please go by and take a look and make me an offer and take this house off my hands. I'd appreciate it. My phone number is, and the address. Glenda. Is that the kind of motivated seller you want to deal with? It's kind of what my life looks like on a regular basis, folks. So what we ended up doing in this particular case was we went over to the home. We looked at it from the outside. We took a bunch of pictures of it. We made the offer, the $17,500. We wrote a contract out and we made the offer, the $17,500. So we sent her the photographs that we had taken of the property because she'd never seen it. We sent her the contract, and we sent her what we call a mini credibility kit. Because mind you, this person's out of state. She doesn't know me from anything. So we sent her a copy of our business card. We sent her a copy of the business card from our title company. I sent her information on our real estate attorney, on a couple of the private lenders that we use, and our inspection service. Just gave her kind of an idea, information on some of the folks we work with in our business. And she called all of them. And so about 5 days later, oh, and then of course we sent her a priority mail envelope in the package too, so she could send the letter, send the contract back to us. About 5 days later, here comes the contract back in the mail, all signed, sealed, and delivered. I called the title company and my title lady, her name's Kathy also. And I said, hey, Kathy, I've got a new deal coming into you. And she goes, the one from Glenda? I said, yeah, how'd you know? Oh, she's already called me. We're all set. I'm just waiting on the contract from you. So we ended up closing that. My wholesale buyer, we assigned the contract to the wholesale buyer. He closed at our title company, which is our normal modus operandi. And so we ended up making a quick $12,500 on a deal that we never had the first conversation with the seller. And about 2 weeks ago, I got a really nice thank you note from Glenda. Is that the kind of motivated sellers you want to be working with in your business? Absolutely. So here's another one. This is Kelly. So Kelly was asking $225,000 for her house. We paid $180,000 for it. We did about $12,000 of rehab. We sold it for $248,000, and our total profit on this was $44,000. In and out was about 3.5, 4 months total. So here's the letter that initially I got from Kelly. Dear Jay and Kathy Kennebrook, my name is Kelly, and I received an interesting letter from you today. Yes, me and my husband are interested in selling, but we want no games. We've been through a lot with trying to sell this house. You know, realtors, she wrote this, I didn't. We're asking $225,000 for our property, and it's occupied. Yes, there's a mortgage on the property. Approximate amount is $155,000. Payments are current. There are 2 bedrooms, possible third, being used as an office right now. There is a newly renovated 2+ garage. We are selling because we want to move closer to family. Please contact us ASAP because we wanted our house sold like yesterday. And if you don't buy it, then we have to go with a realtor as our last resort. Thank you for your time. Is this the kind of motivated seller you want to work with? Absolutely. Okay. And here's another one. We actually bought this house and closed on it in 2 weeks. And that was part of the seller's prerequisite for us buying the home. This is another expired listing that we bought. So here's the deal. House is worth about $198,000 and drop dead perfect condition. It needed absolutely nothing. Adorable, adorable, adorable. And sometimes that's my criteria for renting a property or keeping it in our profile. And we ended up keeping this one as a rental. So what happened was the lady that was living in the house, this was an expired listing. It had been on the market about 7 months and had not sold. And she only had signed a 6-month contract with the realtor. But they extended it like another month. But anyway, the deal was she was building a house in another part of the area. And so her prerequisite was that she was going to sell the home and continue to live in it until her house was finished. Well, how many end users do you think are going to go for that scenario? None. But I didn't care. So we ended up buying this house for $148,000. Now, the other reason that we got the house at such a good deal was because she was due another payment on the house she was building, and she didn't have it because she was counting on this one being sold. See, there's a lot of really cool scenarios with sellers that really need to sell out there. So we ended up buying this. We closed on it in 2 weeks. She lived in the house for another 2 months. She paid us $1,000 a month, which was okay. As soon as she moved out, my tenant moved in, and this house is now pushing off $600 a month in cash flow. So I'm happy, and it's, oh my goodness, it's such a pretty house, really cute. Anyway, so that's another expired listing that we did. And this is the monkey house. So this poor lady got several letters from us because sometimes your lists are going to like intersect or overlap. And that's what happened. So she got the divorce letter, the expired listing letter, because this was another expired listing, and the out-of-state owner letter because she was living in Indiana and the home was here in Florida. So what happened was she moved to Indiana. She got the house in the divorce. She moved to Indiana, and the house is sitting in Florida empty, and she is making mortgage payments on it. And the house had been on the market almost a year and hadn't sold. So this is what it looked like when we got it. She called us on the phone. In this particular case, she did call us. We chatted for a few minutes, and she asked me if I wanted the keys. So she mails us the keys. She doesn't know me from anything. Is this a motivated seller? Absolutely. So what I found out in the interim was that she was raising physical therapy, service capuchin monkeys. Yeah, right. So they're like supposed to be trained to like go to the refrigerator and get the person a soda or whatever. And so I'm not real sure how that worked out, but she mails us the keys. We open the front door, and there's like that much monkey poop on the floor throughout the entire house. So what do you think monkey poop smells like? Cash. Absolutely. Sure does. Smells just like money. So this house was worth about $425,000. We ended up buying the property for $225,000. And she actually brought 3 of the monkeys with her before the closing. That was fun. I won't go into that story tonight, but it was fun. It ended up at the end after the closing that all of us ended up chasing one of the monkeys all over the neighborhood. So that's the short story of that. But anyway, we got closed. And what ended up happening with this particular house was we ended up doing about $75,000 of rehab to it, but not before we had it completely and professionally sanitized from top to bottom. Okay, before our work crews could even go in there and do any work to the home at all. So we did about $75,000 of rehab to this particular property. We ended up selling the home for $419,000. And when everything was said and done, we walked away with a check for $85,000. Is this not a gorgeous house now? People are still talking about that story because people in the neighborhood saw what was going on that day, chasing monkeys all over the place. Anyway, so that was another deal that we did. So that's kind of what we're doing down here in Florida. All right, so let's talk about results from a direct mail campaign. Now, this is just one direct mail campaign that we did. I kind of want to show you the mechanics. So we mailed out about 2,500 letters, about 200 letters per month. That's about 50 letters a week. Is that doable? Absolutely. So we got about 196 leads, about 16 leads per month. That's about an 8% response rate overall. Is that okay? How many folks could use an extra 16 leads a month from highly qualified, motivated sellers? Absolutely. And the reason that response rate is so high is because the lists that we use are very, very targeted. We hone in, we use specific criteria to hone in on the most highly qualified sellers in any particular group. We ended up buying 14 of those properties. Total cash and equity, $573,000. Total cost of mailings, $2,100. Net profit, $571,000. Is that okay? How many folks could use an extra $571,000 next 12 months? Anybody? I hope so. All right. Yeah, absolutely. But there is a caveat, and the caveat is simply this. Folks, you're running a business, so you need to put the key in the ignition and turn on the engine so the machine will run. Folks, if you take a few steps to implement direct mail marketing, it becomes a machine that will bring you deal after deal after deal after deal after deal, today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and so on. Not only are you sowing seeds for deals today, but you are constantly sowing seeds for future deals. There is no other marketing technique out there that can do that. Okay. So the next question, I'm sure, is, so when should I start implementing direct mail? So when should I start implementing direct mail? What a good question. Now, and right now would be really good. Couple of really good reasons for that. Number one, you are on this call tonight, which tells me that you are interested in growing your real estate investing business. And that's super important. Folks, we are at the very beginning of a new year. We have a brand new president in office. John, I'm not going to be able to say that much longer. And not only that, but property tax bills are also going out. Let me tell you, folks, if you have a motivated seller who has a property they neither want nor need, and they just got another property tax bill they don't want to pay, let me tell you how motivated that makes them, just like Glenda was. So right now would be a really, really good time for you to start implementing your direct mail marketing. So where do I get the list? Well, there's a couple of different ways to do that. Number one is you can get it from your property appraiser's office, assessor's office, whatever that's called, where you live. And you're going to use the specific criteria for each one of those direct mail campaigns, and they will produce those lists for you. Now, some property appraiser or assessor's office will provide the list for you as a paper list, and some will provide it for you on disc. And then you have to kind of break it out the rest of the way. But this is very simple, and it's a very inexpensive way for you to get these lists. My list that are about yay thick are about $40 a year. And all I do, what I want you to do is go down to their offices and talk to a supervisor, because this is a list that you're going to use for residual mailings over a period of a year. So you want to make sure that it got done right. If you call them on the phone, they're going to blow you off. How do you think I know that? If you talk to somebody on the phone and they're just making a few dollars an hour, they don't want to do any extra work. So I want you to go down, talk to the supervisor, and get the list done exactly the way that you want it. It's really very, very simple. It's to the point now where I just call my property appraiser's office and say, hey, I need the new list for this year. And they just already know what I want and how I want it put together. So it's pretty easy to get the list that way. Now, when you start working with me tonight, I provide the resources for the list brokers for you, no matter where you live in the country. I don't want you out there reinventing the wheel. Okay, so that's another way that you can get these lists that you need for your mailings. So let's talk about the keys to success or failure when you are marketing to find highly qualified sellers. Number one, you've got to target the right prospect. And we already kind of talked about that. There are two types of prospects in your real estate investing business. One are targeted prospects, and we've talked about that. The other is what we call a shotgun approach. And that's where you're going to use your signage, your business cards, your flyers, your t-shirts, all of those kinds of things to draw more motivated sellers into your pipeline. And you always have to have between 1 and 5 different marketing techniques in place at all times. And one of them has to be direct mail marketing. Number 2, you have to make it easy for the seller to respond to you, folks. And this I don't understand. I just really don't understand it. I want you to give the seller as many ways as you can to respond to you. The more ways you give a seller to respond to you, the more of them are going to. So give them a mailing address, give them an email address, give them a telephone number, give them a fax number, give them that website address if you have it. Now, we track and test everything that we do in our business, and about 11% of all of the leads that we get come in by fax. So we are still using fax, and there's some really great free fax programs out there for you. But what I don't understand, folks, this is a business, okay? You are creating a long-term business. You want motivated sellers contacting you all the time. Why are you changing your email address every 15 minutes? John, I know, John, you go through the same thing with your customers and your students. This is nuts, people. Um, these sellers are going to be contacting you tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. You've got to get serious about your real estate investing business. I have had the same phone number and the same email address for my real estate investing business for the last 20 years. You don't change those things. Now, I will tell you that a P.O. box is okay. I've tested and I've tracked it. I have a P.O. box because you're going to move once or twice. You're going to find a home you really like and you're going to move into it. And I want you to do that. So we use a P.O. box for our mailing address as well. Okay, just real important for you to set your business up correctly from the get-go. Number 3, you want to use the right letter. You want to use a proven list. You want to be using lists that you know works. Now, anytime you are trying out a new list, mail out 100 pieces. Okay, how many bad addresses did we get? How many responses did we get? If you get letters back from the post office and they say vacant or deceased, the post office just did your job for you. Get started on those right away. You've got to use a proven system. Once again, I don't want you out there recreating the wheel. You're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of money doing that. And then you want to be consistent with your marketing. Like I mentioned earlier, you have to have between 1 and 5 different marketing techniques in place at all times. One of them needs to be direct mail. And no matter what you're doing, you need to be consistent with your marketing at all times. You don't want to be like stopping your marketing to finish this house because your business is going to start doing this. All right. So even if you're working on rehabs or doing wholesales and getting houses ready or whatever, you've got to keep your marketing going as well. Number 7, take the time to follow up with semi-motivated sellers. Write that down. Take the time to follow up with semi-motivated sellers. Folks, if you take the time to follow up with semi-motivated sellers, you are going to make thousands of dollars more in your real estate investing business. And so basically what happens is if a person says, wow, I don't know, I'm just not sure. I'm just not ready to take that offer. Okay, they have heartstrings attached to that property. Maybe they're just not ready today. Or if they say something like, are you out of your mind? I can't take that offer. All they're saying to you is, no, not today, but could you follow up with me every 36 to 60 days until I change my mind? Get your ego out of the equation and start following up with these semi-motivated sellers, and you're going to make a ton of money. Now, there's 2 ways that we do that in our business. Write this down. So the people who do have computers, we use an autoresponder system. All right. So basically you write your message one time, and our message is very simple. It's just something like, hey, it's Kathy again. When you're ready to sell, I'm ready to buy. It's that simple. And it will drop that email to that prospective seller every 30 or 60 days, however you set it. And then if the person doesn't have a computer system, we use a postcard system that we simply send out every 30 to 60 days to those folks who don't have computers. So very, very simple for you to follow up with these semi-motivated sellers. And there is a ton of money to be made doing that. So let's talk about response rates from sequential mailings. Now, these are mine and my students throughout the country over the last 12 months. So even through the pandemic. First mailings about 5 to 7%. Second mailings 9 to 13. Third mailings 13 to 17% or more to the same lists. Folks, residual is key. When you repeat these mailings, you are developing credibility and you're creating a relationship with these sellers. You're gently touching that seller with your message. So even if they're not ready to sell today, when they are ready to sell, they're going to contact you first, even if they've been contacted by somebody else in the interim. And this is just another way to build your business and create continuity in your business to keep bringing new sellers in. So let me show you a couple of letters from some of my students throughout the country, just to kind of show you what other people are doing. This is a Florida letter from one of my students because I had to bring one from home. All right, so this is David. David is in South Florida. David mailed out 400 letters, created 2 deals with absentee owners, total profit 142,000. Is that okay? Absolutely. Here's another one. This one is Missouri. This is Stan. Now, one thing I want to mention before I go on with these letters, one of the things that John knows about me and why he keeps bringing me back year after year or years after years is because I am a complete open book. I'm a person of complete integrity and I am an open book. So what I will tell you is all of these letters and testimonials that I bring you, I've checked out. I call title companies, I check out deals. I don't bring anything to the table unless I know that the deals were real. So just so you know that. So this is Stan. And actually I was blown away and I kind of double checked this one. This was amazing. You guys got some amazing deals in Missouri, obviously. Wanted to take a moment to tell you about the success that I've had using your lead generation system. We initially sent out 50 letters to multifamilies just to test the list and received 6 responses. I've purchased 2 duplexes and 1 fourplex out of those 6 responses. I was blown away. I really was. And I checked it out. He was absolutely telling the truth. I didn't use a dime of my own money, only owner financing and money partners into the 3 properties, and we've achieved great positive cash flow. We're ramping up to 100 letters a week by the end of the month. Thank you so much for stepping into my life at the right time. I'm truly grateful. I can't tell you how humbled I am at every single one of these letters that I get. I mean, I know what I do works. I've been doing it for almost 20 years. But when my students all over the country send me letters like that, it just really touches my heart. And it humbles me to know how many people are creating new deals and working with sellers because of these direct mail campaigns. It blows me away. This is Ted. Ted is in Illinois because I know lots of you folks are close to the Illinois area. I just wanted to send you a quick email to update you on my progress since implementing your direct mail campaigns. I started with the attorney letter, expired listings, and absentee owners. I can't believe how much momentum is going already. I've gotten 15 responses just this last week, and I've written offers on 3 of those so far. I got this letter 3 weeks ago, so I haven't had a chance to follow up and find out what the end of the story is. Thank you for putting together such an amazing system, and thanks for answering all of my questions. Your system is increasing my bottom line in a big way. This is Son. Son just did this deal. Oh gosh, what's the date? October. And I just got this testimonial letter from Son 2 weeks ago. So in the middle of a pandemic, Son is out there doing deals. Now, this is just a little deal. Just wanted to let you know that 3 months after my mailing and phone calling, I made the first closing with an assignment of $4,000. So Son bought this house. He's in Oklahoma, by the way. He's in the Oklahoma market. He bought the property for $10,000. He wholesaled it for $14,000. Not a big one. It's a $4,000 check. But I'll tell you what, he paid for his entire marketing magic system and lots of money left over to put back into his marketing so he can spend some more time growing his business. I got to tell you, he is a happy, happy young man. I've talked to him on the phone after this came in, and he is a very, very happy young man. And he also just contacted me day before yesterday, and he has another much larger deal under contract using my direct mail. So I'm really, really excited for him. This is Jeremy. Jeremy lives in Kentucky. Jeremy is adorable. Jeremy sends me a new email about every 2 to 3 weeks. So here's the first 2 that came in. Just wanted to give you an update after my first mailing of 100 letters to out-of-state owners. 2 calls, 1 appointment to see a property next week, and 2 responses mailed back to me. 1 woman wrote 2 whole pages. I couldn't believe it. Thanks again. October 15th, same mailing. I've gotten 4 more responses to that same mailing. This is amazing. I'm getting a ton of information with each lead coming in. Thank you so much. And this is Jeremy in Kentucky. And so he emails me like every 3 weeks to let me know what he's up to and what deals he's doing and things like that. And he's kind of a little more of a wholesaler also. He's doing just some very cool little wholesale deals and just chugging right along. And then this is Dwayne in Missouri. He sent out 15 letters from the vacant house mailing. Now, what happened was Dwayne had built a list of vacant houses that he had driven by. He just didn't know what to do with them or how to contact them. And so he ended up investing in my system at the end of October of 2020. And he started with the vacant house mailing because he was really excited because all of a sudden he had something to do with all these great vacant house leads that he had. And he said there's a lot of vacant houses in his area over there in Missouri. So he mailed out 15 letters to the owners of these vacant houses. He did the research, he found the owners. And then a week after that, he got his first call. He made an offer of $71,000 on the property, and the seller accepted his offer. He wholesaled it for $95,000 and made a quick $24,000 profit on that deal. So he says the letter obviously is effective and gave me a new strategy for the vacant houses that I've come across. I wanted to thank you for designing such an easy to follow system. That comes up a lot. It's just very easy. The directions are right there, step by step, and you're ready to rock. Okay. So is that pretty awesome? I think it is. Like I said, I am just humbled and blown away every time I get a letter like that, because I know it works because I do it every day. But to have all these students all over the country just absolutely is wonderful. Nothing less than wonderful. So I know the question that's burning on your heart, do I have to do all the work? Absolutely not. Folks, the more quickly you get the minutia out of your lives, the more money you're going to make. So let's talk about marketing on autopilot. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to select the target direct mail campaign that you're going to do. Okay, because each of you is in a different area. Some are in Illinois, some are in Missouri, some are in different counties. You have different goals and ideas about what you want for your business. So you are going to select your target direct mail campaign. You're going to have a part-time person do the work for you. This could be a stay-at-home mom, a college student, a high school student. There's lots of folks out there looking for some part-time work. Very simple to find that person. Number 3, hand them my system. It will train them for you. Folks, each one of my direct mail campaigns stands completely alone in the manual with all the directions that you need to do each one. So for example, if you want to do the vacant house mailing, you just pull that section out, give it to the person that you want to do the direct mail campaign, and all the directions are there for you. Number 4, you are going to mail the letters. This is the last way that you have to check to make sure the work got done. And that's how you're going to track the responses to your direct mail campaigns. So now you know exactly when those letters went out. Then we're going to start working on our responses, and then we're going to get out there and we're going to make some deals. So does that sound incredibly simple? Absolutely. But what if I could make it easier for you? Because I can, and I will. All right. Folks, I have created relationships with companies who will do all of the work for you. All you do is provide them with the letter and the list, and they will do everything else. So basically what I've created is a way for you to work with my system no matter where you are in your real estate investing business. You can do the letters yourself. You can hire a person to do the letters for you, or you can use one of the companies who will do the mailings for you. Now, I will tell you that I use 2 stay-at-home moms, and they do the mailings for me. I have, just an awesome empathy for them, and they need to make some money for their families. And so that's the way that I do it. But my companies do incredible. The companies that we use, the resource that we use, they're incredible. And back in the early days when we were first getting started, we did all the letters ourselves. Literally on Friday night, it came down to, are we mailing letters or are we buying a pizza? Okay, so that's how it was in the beginning. It really was. So I wanted to create a way that you could work with my system no matter where you are in your business, and you can grow with it. If you're just starting out, a year from now, you're going to be in a different place. I've taken all of those things into consideration so you have no obstacles. So this is Daryl. So this is Daryl's note. So this was so great. I finally got to meet Kathy in person. I studied her program extensively. To date, all of my marketing and all of my deals were a direct result of Kathy's program. Let me tell you that again. To date, all of my marketing and all of my deals were a direct result of Kathy's program. Daryl is a protege. Daryl is from the DC area, so that's a huge market up there. Lots of competition. And Daryl was in the military, and he got out of the military, and he had a job, and he wanted to retire from that job so he could spend more time with his family, so he could spend more time traveling. Daryl bought my system off my website. He never heard me speak anywhere, and he never emailed me the first question ever. So I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm at a very large event. Okay. There are two rules for a promoter when you are a speaker. Number one, they're supposed to give you this amazing intro, which John did tonight. And then they're not supposed to make the guru cry before they go on stage. Two main rules. So I'm standing in the back of the room and I'm waiting for my introduction, and big room, bunch of people. And Daryl walks out on stage and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And Daryl starts talking about me, and he starts talking about the fact that he bought my system online, and the fact that he decided to follow the directions, and he decided to implement my system, and he decided that he wanted to get some deals done, and he decided that he wanted to work with some sellers, and he wanted to make some money so he could quit his job. And that's exactly what Daryl did. In 1 year, Daryl did over $1 million of deals using my marketing magic system, and he was given an award for being the DC Real Estate Investor of the Year. And right about then, the guru's got tears running down her face. The mascara's running. She's a mess. And I go up on stage. But Daryl's amazing. And folks, I want every person in our listening audience tonight to be a Daryl. I want you to take that next step. I want you to get motivated. I want you to figure out what's going to get you excited, what's going to get you started using direct mail to find even more motivated sellers and get more deals done, because more deals mean more cash, and more cash means freedom. Okay? Absolutely means freedom. So my combined results over the last 1 year, I got about an 8% response rate for all of the direct mail campaigns that I did on the average. And we created a 7-figure income just from direct mail marketing, not even all of the other marketing techniques that we're going to cover in just a minute. So I know the next question that's burning on your heart is, Kathy, how do I get on board so I can start making the same big profits that you do? And how can I get all my money back on your system so there is no cost to me whatsoever, plus over $9,900 in additional bonuses? I know I need to be one of the first 6 to invest in your system. And there's a lot of reasons for that tonight. And I'm glad John is sitting down, because I forgot to tell him about the extra $9,900 in bonuses that we're doing tonight. Folks, what I will tell you straight up front is that if you go to my website or you Google me anywhere, you will not find the deal that I am making for John tonight. This is something that I put together just for John, just for you folks that are on the call tonight. John and I go back a lot of years. He deserves, and you deserve, my very best. And so my very best is not only an amazing system that's going to bring you a ton of deals, but a lot of additional tools that are going to really help you put your business together. So what I want you to do right now is go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. The whole deal is laid out there for you. You can read all about everything, all of the deal, all of the bonuses, what we're going to do, how you can get all of your money back. Kathy's Marketing. Let me try that one more time. www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. Okay, we even created this page just for you folks. So this is a brand new page too. So go ahead, grab your system, hold your place, and then come back and listen, because I'm going to go through and let you know all the things that the system includes and all of these incredible bonuses that we're going to do tonight. So let's talk about the Marketing Magic System first. It includes all 12 step-by-step direct mail campaigns with all of the directions that you need to automate the system, whether you're just getting started or whether you've been in the business for a while. All the letters and the info sheets for the sellers and the list brokers. There are 24 additional marketing techniques and samples of all of them. I'm going to go through those in just a moment. So not only are you going to get all the direct mail, but you're going to get 24 very unique marketing techniques that you can add to the whole formula to bring you the most sellers in your marketplace. There's also an audio an audio set and the tracking charts to go with that. You are also going to receive my Marketing Magic seller phone conversations. Now, one of the things you're going to learn about me when we start working together tonight is that I'm very cognizant of my students' needs. And one of the things that I was hearing my students say is, you know, Kathy, your system is amazing, but I'm still having trouble pre-qualifying and pre-screening my sellers. And I heard that. So what I did was we pulled real deals with real sellers for all of the direct mail campaigns, both motivated and non-motivated. I went back into the studio and I recreated those conversations with those sellers. We created an audio and transcribed copy for you so that you can hear those conversations. At the end of each one, I analyzed the deal for you as to what we did or didn't buy it, and if we did, what the exit strategy was and why. If you're a newer investor, write it down. That's one of the first pieces that you want to take a look at. For those of you who are seasoned investors, that's one of the tools that you're going to be using when you're bringing new folks into your organization. So let's talk about the additional marketing techniques. Now, there's samples of all of this and explanations of everything in there. So I talk about signage, banners, yard signs, bus bench advertising, how to compile other types of mailing lists. So this is where I talk about the divorce list, the marriage list, bankruptcy, eviction, burned out landlords, all of those types of mailing. So there's a whole nother section in there with more direct mail for you. Buses and taxi cab ads, flyers, business cards, how to use vendors as bird dogs, how to use Craigslist ads and Facebook ads, how to get free announcements and free press releases, how to use realtors, bulletins, and programs in your business, how to use code enforcement to bring you deals. Folks, if you're not using code enforcement to bring you deals, you're missing the boat. And I'll tell you something about code enforcement. This is why John brings women onto these calls, because women know stuff. Let me tell you. And one of the things that I know is that code enforcement really likes cookies. They love cookies. We bring all of our vendors, including code enforcement, cookies once a month. And code enforcement wants neighborhoods fixed up as much as you do. And so we've created a relationship with code enforcement, another way to continue to get deals coming in that I only had to market for one time. How to use mortgage brokers and lenders as bird dogs, how to use estate sales, auctions, and wholesale buyers to bring you deals, how to use postcards for attracting buyers. So we want to be building our buyers list also as we're going along. How to find more private lenders, how to use internet marketing, how to use advertorials in your business, and all kinds of really unique marketing tools. Folks, my system is the most complete marketing system out there to bring you all of the deals you will ever need in your business today, tomorrow, next month, next year, 5 years from now. And your investment in my system tonight is going to be only $1,697. Now, because this is John, we are going to do a very special deal for you tonight, and I'm going to offer a very special discount of $500 to the first 6 attendees who take action right now, making your total investment only $1,197. And we're also going to include the following bonuses totaling over $9,700 for those first 6 people. I want to work with those motivated investors who want to take action right now and find out how you can own my system at no cost to you whatsoever. Why would I be crazy enough to do that? You'll see. So go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. Go ahead and grab your copy. You need to be one of the first 6. I will tell you that if your order goes through, you are one of the first 6, you will receive all of the awesome bonuses that I'm going to offer tonight. Okay, so www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. All right. So let's go through the bonuses. The first bonus that you are going to receive is my personal 24-hour recorded message. Students were saying, wow, Kath, your recorded message is absolutely awesome. So I provide it as an audio and also in transcribed copy. So you can use it either way. And that's $149 value. You're also going to receive my $1 million resource kit. Now, we gave this a value of $497, but in my personal opinion, it's priceless. This is where you're going to find the companies to do the mailings for you. This is where you're going to find the list brokers. This is where you're going to find hard money lenders. This is where you're going to find discounted pricing on everything you need for your business. So business cards, signage, apparel, all of that stuff. These are all of the resources that I use in my business every single day. Okay. But I've negotiated discounted pricing for you on all of them. Okay. Pre-qualifying your dream team realtor. This is $199 value. Folks, you have the right to duplicate this particular product or this particular CD. And the reason for that is because I did an interview with one of my realtors who is a realtor of over 40 years. And we covered every single thing that that realtor should be helping you with in your business. So now you have the opportunity to give new realtors coming into your business to work with you this CD so they can listen to it and know exactly what your expectations are. So once again, I've taken another obstacle out of the equation. The next bonus is guerrilla tactics to boost your credit score. Not only are there tools here that are going to help you to improve your credit score, but the reason that I really did this product was to help you to get your lease option folks qualified. You have the right to duplicate this one as well. Every single person going into one of my properties on a lease option gets this product so that they can learn what things hurt their credit, how they can help their credit, how they can increase their credit scores by 100 points or more. This is really important for a buyer who is going to be closing on your property. And that's why I created this particular product in the first place. And it's $149 value. My tenant referral system. Folks, if we have landlords on the call tonight, you absolutely need to be using a tenant referral program. Your tenants know stuff you would never know about otherwise. And so this is simply a letter that we send out to them every 6 months to remind them about the program that we offer. And several of my tenants have brought us deals. Your tenants are cheap. They don't like paying rent. So if they bring you a deal and you close on that deal, they're going to get this bonus. And the bonus is kind of up to you. Whatever the amount is entirely up to you and how you do your business, but absolutely awesome tool. And that's a $99 value. You're also going to get the 4 bonus CD packs. So you are going to learn what a credibility kit is and why you need to have one. You're going to learn lots more about following up with semi-motivated sellers and how to use software in your business to help you to keep track of everything. You're going to learn some no-nonsense marketing strategies like working with sponsorship and how to use apparel in your business. You're going to learn more about the power of the auction, whether you want to do traditional auctions to sell your property or whether you want to do round robin auctions to sell your property. So it's just some more exit strategies for you to use in your business. Folks, I'm all about the tools. So we doing okay so far, you think? But wait, there's more. All right. The next bonus that you are going to get is the most important bonus that you are going to get tonight. That is a consulting certificate with me. Now I'm thinking that maybe other than John, I'm the only guru in the country that does this. Folks, you have 12 months to work directly with me on your marketing. You can email me any question that you have regarding your marketing. You're going to get my personal email address, and I will work with you step by step on whatever marketing question that you may have. Folks, that really is a $4,500 value. I have 6 of those available tonight because one thing that I won't do is overfill my support system. They call me the fastest guru in the Northeast, South, and West because I'm really quick about answering questions for my students. If I overfill my support system, I can't do that. And so I'm real careful about how many people I add. So we have 6 of those available tonight. The next bonus you're also going to receive is an entitlement certificate. You are going to get a 30-minute consultation with my personal CPA. My CPA is a financial planner. He is a CPA of over 40 years, and he has about 35 years of real estate investing behind him. And he is known to have been a private lender for some real estate investors, including me. And he's one of 12 in the country who's admitted to practice before the U.S. tax court. The man is scary, brilliant. He charges $250 per half hour for a consultation. This is exactly what he charges. He truly limits the number of these that I'm allowed to give out at each event that I do because he's a really, really busy man. So we have 6 of these available for you tonight. Folks, when you make your appointment with him, do me a favor and write down whatever questions are burning on your heart so you can pick this man's brain. He is scary, scary smart, really. The questions don't have to be real estate related. It can be related to any financial issue that you're having in your business. So that's another really, really awesome bonus that you're also going to get. You're also going to get the live auction boot camp DVD set. You're going to learn the auction process step by step. You're going to hear a live panel discussion from students who've done it, the good, the bad, and the bloody. You're going to learn how to create a successful round robin auction. You will see one of ours. This is an info-packed 4 DVD set. The folks paid $1,497 to be at this boot camp. The promoter who put this on limits the number of these that I'm allowed to have for each event that I do because the students paid airline, hotel, and $1,497 to be there. So I also have 6 of these tonight as well. So the next bonus that you're also going to get is the Millionaire Jumpstart Boot Camp with Lewis Brown. Now, this is an absolutely amazing piece to go with my marketing magic system. You are going to learn what contracts to use and when. You're going to learn how to determine the exit strategy. You're going to learn what strategies to use. You're going to learn negotiation skills, asset protection, and how to use land trusts in your business. Now, I had a gentleman on a call that I did last night, and he actually invested in my system a few months ago, and he went to this boot camp. And what he said to me on that call last night, which was so perfect, was the synergy between his boot camp and your product was absolutely the best it possibly could have been. And I couldn't have said it any better than that gentleman said it last night. Folks, those of you who know Lewis Brown, know that he is the cheapest man on earth. I love him. I've been teaching for him myself for 15 years. I teach the marketing day at one of his boot camps every single year for the last 15 years in a row. He's the cheapest man on earth. I saw him in February of 2020. That's the last time I saw him. I twisted his arm. I got some scholarships from him. Believe me when I tell you that he really limits the number of folks I'm allowed to give these to. Now, part of the reason for that is because this is a very small, very intimate boot camp. There's usually about 45 people at this boot camp because he works with you one-on-one. You're going to write contracts until you're sick of them. Okay. It starts at like 8 o'clock in the morning. It ends at like 9 o'clock at night. It is very, very intensive. It's a 3-day intensive. There are multiple dates and cities to choose from. He texted me this morning and let me know that the next live event is next month in Dallas. because he kind of thought that that was the closest one to Missouri, because I mentioned to him that I was doing this call tonight. And so you can bring a spouse or a partner absolutely free. So we have 6 of those tonight. I don't always have the Millionaire Jumpstart Bootcamp available. In fact, I think the last time I spoke for John, I didn't. So this is a very, very special offer that we're making to our folks tonight. You will not find this anywhere else. I believe we're going to let the offer, John, probably go through tomorrow morning, and then we'll cut it off. Okay.
Okay.
So I also offer a 14-day free look enrollment plan. Folks, give us a deposit tonight of $1,197, knowing that if my system isn't every single thing I told you it was going to be, you have a full 14 days to get it back to us. There is absolutely no risk to you whatsoever. Okay. This is kind of a brain dead simple sort of a decision to make. If you don't like it, send it back to us. All right. And so we're going to offer that 14-day free look enrollment plan tonight. I wanted to show you just one more letter from a student. This was just a little deal of $10,000, but I really like the way that Scott put this together. Scott was so incredibly impressed with what I'm doing that Scott is now in my personal coaching program. And he's doing fantastic. He's doing a ton of deals. Just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate your putting the system together. You forgot one thing though, the word warning. Follow the instructions and the system will work. I did exactly what you said to do, and in a short time, I had my first duplex under contract, which I wholesaled for a profit of $10,000. While only a small wholesale, it demonstrates that this is so easy to do. The most incredible part are the leads. I'm just sending a minimum of 100 letters a week. Folks, that's 400 letters a month. And the leads are coming in by fax, email, and mail, just like you said they would. I can't believe how easy this system to use and how effective it's been to increasing my profit. Thank you, Kathy. You're amazing, Scott from Illinois. And Scott used part of that $10,000 to jump into my coaching program. And he's doing amazing things, really amazing things. He's really focused. Same thing. He wants to succeed. He's really, really focused. He wants to be successful. He wants to spend more time with his family also. Okay. So that's what it's all about, folks. It's all about you doing more deals. And I'm going to help you out. How many folks do you think, John, would take my system tonight if it was absolutely free? I think just a few, if not everyone. Okay, here's what I'm going to offer. Folks, I am going to offer an incentive rebate. When you do a deal using one of my 12 direct mail campaigns within the next 12 months, folks, you have no excuse not to get started. No excuse at all. You have 14 days to check the system out, and then you have a full year to get a deal done. If you send me a copy of your testimonial letter, proof that you did the deal, and a copy of your profit check, I will refund the entire investment of $1,197, and you keep the system and all of the bonuses. Now, why would I be goofy enough to do that? First of all, there are only 6 of those available. So you need to jump on right now if you haven't already and grab your set. Because folks, I know my system works. My students all over the country know my system works. And I'm only willing to write a certain number of checks every month. So you need to be one of the folks who jumps on right now to grab your copy. Folks, seriously, this is the best way that I know to motivate you to get your next deal done. I want you to be successful. I want you to start out 2021 with a bang. I want you to get a ton of deals done. I want you to work with motivated sellers. I want you to do what you want to do in your life, whether it's quitting a job, spending time with your family, traveling, whatever that might be. You'll learn how to automate the whole system so it's really easy to get it into somebody else's hands very, very quickly. Once again, tomorrow morning, the deal goes away completely. And you will not find this deal anywhere else. You need to jump on tonight. Take action right now. You have no excuse. You must be one of the first 6 to take action right now. You're going to receive my marketing magic system, all of the discounts and bonuses of over $10,000 and that rebate certificate. So go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. Go ahead and place your order. If you have an order specific question, this is my office phone number. My helper is in the office tonight, 941-792-5390. 941-792-5390. If you have questions about me, about my system, about the direct mail, please throw those in the chat box for us. We'll go ahead and answer whatever questions that you folks may have tonight. So go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. Grab your system right now. If you're having like a computer problem or you can't get your order to go through or something like that, call our office, 941-792-5390. If you have any questions at all with regard to the system, with regard to the direct mail or anything that I talked about tonight, throw your questions in the chat box. We'll go ahead and get those answered for you. So John, are you back with us?
I am right here. Oh,
All right.
I can't believe all this that you're giving to us right here. This every time I see it, you just amaze me.
I appreciate that. And again, this is, like I said, this is a special order that we're doing just for your group tonight. And I'm really, really excited about being here again, especially with so many people in lockdown and stuff like that. So, you know, we want to go ahead. We have some offers. We already have some orders here. 1, 2, 3. We have 4 orders already in, so I have 2 left. So go ahead and grab your copy. Go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com and grab your system. If you have any questions, I are here. So ask away while I am available to you. And John is going to kind of filter questions for me. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them. I don't see anything, so I must have covered everything for them so far.
Oh, you did, Kathy. What's so amazing too is how simple you make everything. I know since people that's been around me for a while know that I have to simplify everything, and you
Right.
are a master at simplification and
Right.
direct mail. Something that's it's like a little known secret, even though it's not a secret because you're not hiding anything. But that's the most I think it's the best marketing system there is right now.
It is.
What you're doing.
It absolutely is. And the support that they get, literally the support that they get from me for a year, other than you, nobody does that. Nobody that I
It's
know.
unbelievable.
Or they pawn them off on somebody like in their office or whatever. I don't do that. It's me that they're working with directly. And so even when I'm out during the day, I either have my phone with me or I have my iPad with me. When I'm at home, I'm on the desktop. So I'm always available pretty much to answer whatever questions that the students may have. And I've gained a reputation for that. I get emails all the time. I can't believe you got back to me so quick.
Yeah.
And the same thing with my students who are in my coaching program. It's the same thing. They need their questions answered quickly because, they're working with a seller, they're working on a deal, whatever that might be. And so support is what it's all about. And that by itself is a $4,500 value just to have me at their fingertips, plus all the other tools and the Marketing Magic system and the 12 direct mail campaigns and everything. And it's really cool because people, like you saw in the letters, all of the direct mail campaigns stand completely alone by themselves. So they can just take a section out and have all the directions that they need right there to create that particular direct mail campaign. So, and the letters are very, very personal. And they're very cool. And nobody else uses that response mechanism either. And I don't get it. As many years as I've been doing this, John, I'm 20 years down the road. Nobody else is doing that. And that's one of the reasons, like, we can't use postcards, and we never would, because 1, they sort them over the garbage can, and 2, you can't do the response mechanism. You can't give them numerous ways to respond to you. You can't tell them a little bit about yourself and how you can help them. That's just too much stuff to put in a postcard. So it just doesn't work nearly as well as these direct mail campaigns do.
One of the things I love too about you, Kathy, is you're out there actually doing the work. We see a lot of these people out there that's actually, they work on theories and stuff like that. No, you're in the trenches. You're out there with us every day. and you're there working with people. I mean, it's just that's what's so amazing, because you're not just making something up out of a book or something you read somewhere. We do have a question. Sandra said she just ordered the system. Can't wait to get started, but she wants to know how will she receive it?
Oh, that's a really good question. Thank you.
Mhm.
We have been having numerous problems with shipping. So what we did was we just switched over to, oh, that's actually two things I need to mention. Folks, let me do this, John, before I forget, and that would be not a good thing.
Mhm.
I mentioned throughout my presentation that there are CDs in the product. And there are lots of folks out there now who have these brand spanking new computers that don't have CDs anymore. We just went to Thumb Drive 2 weeks ago, guys. If you need a thumb drive with your set for your audios and your CDs, please let me know. And we will go ahead and get a thumb drive out to you along with your set. Okay, so your thumb drive and your paper bonuses would ship from our office here. Your product will ship from my fulfillment house. It will be going FedEx ground, which is about 4 days. It's about an 11-pound box. You can't miss it. Okay. So between the system and all the amazing bonuses that are in there, the thing weighs about 11 pounds. So the FedEx box will be coming from my fulfillment house in California. And then the paper bonuses and your thumb drive, if you need that, will be coming directly from our office. That was a really good question. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that was important.
I'm one of those too. I just ordered a new computer and it does not have a CD drive.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, for the folks who do have CDs, like Walmart and Staples, they sell a CD player that plugs into your computer, and it's like 15 or it's like $20, $25.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's a really minimal investment. I still have a Dell, and my Dell has the CD holder still in it. But I understand that a lot of the folks with these brand new ones. So we went to Thumb Drive. We had them produced about a month ago, and we got them 2 weeks ago. So I do have them in house to mail to the folks that need that thumb drive.
Okay, just be sure and specify that again, I
Yep,
guess.
just let me know. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I think we have like one set left. So you need to be one of the first people who, yep, this is another one that just came in. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we have like 4 in so far.
Oh, great.
So we have like 2 left. So you need to be one of those first 6. Are you doing any kind of replay, John?
We can do that. I wanted to ask you about that. I did have a couple people that sent me messages right before we started that could not make it because of scheduling conflicts. And with
Okay.
your permission, I would like to go ahead and maybe put the recording up till maybe noon tomorrow, if that's okay.
Go
We,
ahead and put it up until like Saturday. So
okay.
since we're going to do a replay, let's go ahead and give them.
Okay. We'll do it through the weekend then with you, with
Okay,
your
that's cool.
group.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
We'll do that. Yeah. We'll do
And
it
we
through.
do have we have just 2 left. So if you want to be one of those folks, go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. If you have order specific questions, 941-792-5390. If you're one of the folks who is already on the call and already ordered, if you do need the thumb drive, you can go ahead and just call my helper tonight and just let him know. His name is Jay. Just go ahead and let him know that you need a thumb drive, and we'll go ahead and mail that out with the paper bonuses from our office.
Excellent. Excellent.
So.
All right, thank you so much, Kathy. I'm just amazed at how simple you keep this and how much you're actually giving to people. And then, oh my gosh, with 12 months to get your money back, are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Are you kidding me? That's just amazing.
It is, and it's something. It's John. When I was a much younger investor, I used to do the same thing: put stuff on a shelf and never look at it. I'm really trying to break that habit because I was just as bad. And I'm trying to break that habit by creating this offer for them and forcing them to open it up and start implementing and give them the 12 months to do a deal and get their money back, and then have me to hold their hand all along the way to help them to get it done. I mean, I just can't imagine anything being any better or any easier than that.
If I would have ran into you, Kathy, 25 years ago or so, I would have saved myself probably $200,000 that I've spent.
Me too.
And it would have been.
If I had a me back then.
Yeah, but that's just amazing, and you're absolutely right. The hardest part is getting started. Most people, you buy your box, you put it on your shelf. That's not going to do anybody any good. But what you got to look at too is what you're saying here. By getting out there and getting started, you're going to help your not only yourself and your loved ones, but you're going to help these people that don't know what they're doing. These motivated sellers, you call them. These are non-wanters. They're everywhere. You just got to find them.
They are. And one of the things that really makes my direct mail marketing so incredibly special is the fact that number one, we use that response mechanism. So we're telling the seller what we want them to do and what information we need from them in order to create the deal. Okay, so that's number one. If you don't tell the seller what you want them to do, they don't do anything at all. They just put the letter somewhere. Okay, so that's the first thing. The other thing is that, I mean, believe me, this has been trial and error for me, John. I mean, this is years of experience that and pain that your students aren't going to have to go through. So we've learned how to really tweak these lists to bring in the most highly qualified sellers in each group. And everybody else does like these really generic mailings, and they do them to a mass list. And that's a waste of money and it's a waste of time. And I'm cheap. Back in the day, we didn't have money to blow. And so we really quickly had to start learning, by trial and error, how to do that and how to hone in on these really motivated folks so that the folks that were contacting us were ready to sell, instead of all the other crazy stuff. I want full retail. I want $1 million. We don't get that kind of stuff anymore. Back in the real early days we did, but not anymore.
And you've done such a great job of simplifying everything and putting this in such an easy to work with system. It's just amazing. I mean, everything is right there for you. It's basically done for you.
It is.
If you don't put it on the shelf and you just do a couple of simple little steps, the deals will come to you. It's just
exactly
what you've done.
Put it in somebody else's hands very quickly. I mean, that's the other thing, is get it into somebody else's hands very quickly. Whether it's, when we first got started, we had our kids addressing. I mean, my kids were like 15, 16 at the time. We had our kids addressing letters for us. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just make sure that their handwriting is neat and that they're spelling everything correctly. And I cover that in the manual for you. Or you can hire a stay-at-home mom, high school student, college student. We even had some folks from a senior center working with us. You talk about some of the most gorgeous handwriting I've ever seen, like really flared and pretty. That really gets people's attention and they open the envelopes. So, there's just lots of different ways to get that person. And then we have companies that will do all the work for them. So whatever level you're at, I've got the answer for you.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, the senior citizens, I never thought of that. That's an excellent way because their handwriting is so much better. Back when we paid attention to their writing.
Absolutely.
They probably spell good too.
Yeah, exactly. They probably don't make. Well, here's an example. I will get a letter occasionally from an investor. And I got to tell you, I write them back. I'm a bad girl. I write them back. Here's what you didn't do right. But my last name is Kennebrook. I get letters in the mail. Seriously, John, Mrs. Kennebrook.
Oh my.
Garbage. Okay. If it's coming from a real estate investor, I can't stand it. And I got to open it up and read it, critique it, and send it back.
Wow. That could be a whole training in itself. Get the name right.
I'm not kidding you. It's crazy. Somebody just asked where do the lists come from? So you must have come in more toward the end of the call. Couple of different ways that you can get the list. You can go to, what's it called where you are? Assessor's office?
Assessors, yes.
Assessor. Okay. You can go to your, where I am, it's property appraiser. You can go to your property assessor's office and you can create the list based on the criteria that I provide for you in my system. There is a sheet at the front of each direct mail campaign with all the criteria that you need to create each one of the lists. I also provide resources for you with list brokers who can do the list, who can provide the list for you exactly the way you need them, no matter where you live in the country. Now, understand, these list brokers have been working with me for a really long time, so they know exactly what criteria you already need. So that we've taken another obstacle out of the equation for you. So real easy to get the list. So for example, if you're working on vacant houses, those are going to come from like driving by and things like that. For the, like even a for sale by owner mailing, you can simply use another resource that I have, and they will email you the for sale by owners in your area like every day. And so when I get up in the morning, here's the new for sale by owner properties in my area. So I don't even have to go and look for them. The expired listings obviously are going to come from your realtor. So lots of different ways for you to get the lists that you need to do these mailings. That was a good question, whoever that was.
Mhm. Yeah, you gave us a really good brief
It was
rundown.
Deborah.
Well,
Thank you, Deborah.
mhm.
All right. I don't see much more in there at the moment. All right, so we do still have folks on the line, so you need to go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. I think there is maybe one set left at this point, so go ahead and grab that. If you're having any problems with any of your ordering or you need the thumb drive with your order, go ahead and call our office, 941-792-5390. Or you can email me at kpaddler, KPADDLER @att.net, and we'll make sure that that gets taken care of for you as well. So www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. The order is the whole deal is laid out there for them, John. It has everything that they're getting, all the bonuses and everything is laid out there for them. So even if they come in through the weekend and they listen to the replay, they'll still be able to see the offer and exactly what we're doing for them. If we go over the 6, I'll increase it by 1 or 2 to make sure that those weekend folks get handled on the replay, because I don't want them to miss out either.
Oh, thank you very much. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I don't well, I don't see how you could go wrong with any of this. What you've put out here, Kathy, I've never seen anything like this. It's just
I
amazing.
appreciate it.
We appreciate it very much too, because I'm a big believer in everything you talk about here, and I know you, and I know the way you do this, and I could highly recommend everything that you've done, and that you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. We do have a question here. Sandra wants to know what your email address was again.
Oh, my email address is kpaddler, K is in Kathy, PADDLER @att.net.
Right.
And I've already got a couple of emails in here from the folks who bought, John, that need thumb drives, which is perfect. So that's working exactly the way it's supposed to.
Okay. And they can always get a hold of me too in the meantime. Send me a note or something if there's any questions you have. And yeah, I will get to replay the renditions. They take a little while, but I'll go ahead and get it up tonight before I go to bed. I've got some other things to do. And even if it's 3 a.m, I'll get it up tonight.
You're like me. I do my best work at about 3 a.m.
Yes, it's nice and quiet, and it's only me getting in my own way.
Exactly. So, I mean, because, I'm later than you are anyway. So it's later where I am than where you are. So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got an hour on us.
Yep. But I'm so glad that you invited me on the call. We still have folks on the call. I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. Obviously, you're serious about your business. Obviously, you want to grow your business. You want to take it to the next level and take the next step and be truly successful. And again, you have a full year to work with me via email to answer any marketing question that you might have. That alone is worth the price of the whole system. It really, really is. So www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. We have 1 set left for tonight. I'll initiate the other couple of sets probably tomorrow for the weekend folks.
Thank you so much. It's been so informative and so helpful.
I appreciate it. And I thank you so much for having me on the call again. Oh, well, no, this is the first call we've done.
Yeah, this is the first time virtually. We're using live. Right.
Yeah. I'm usually live in the room with all your folks. So this is a little bit different, but awesome. I appreciate your doing it. And for the folks who are on the call, I hope you understand that it's not like, just click it on and turn it on. All the work that John does for you, all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on. I appreciate it. I hope you appreciate it. Kudos, John, for all the things that you do and all the work you do for your students and your customers and putting these calls on for them. It's not just, I know it's not a super easy thing to put all this together. And I know I really appreciate all the promoters that have been working so hard to create education while we've been in this pandemic situation. So I thank you for being one of those folks. And I hope everybody on your call realizes how much work you're doing to keep everything going forward.
Thank you, Kathy. We do have a lot of good people, and because of people like you, because we were able to bring in someone like yourself, that just really gives so much value to
Right.
our members, and we really appreciate you very much.
I thank you for having me, and I love doing this.
Mhm.
You know, I love the live room. I really like having the bodies, you know, to interact with and all of that. But the Zoom calls have been really great. Also, it's been really awesome. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can with what we got, aren't we?
Amen, brother. That's the truth.
Yes. Well, I want to thank everyone for attending tonight. This has been actually, it's been the highlight of my day. This broadcast has been fantastic, Kathy, and I learned so much every time that I just talk to you. It's just, I was even taking notes before we even
I saw that.
so, and it just speaks a lot about you. So thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you everybody for being on the call. I'm looking forward to working with as many of you as I can. Go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com, and I look forward to working with you. And thank you, John, for having me on the call tonight.
Okay, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.